Welcome back to Squelch the Video Game Book Club. I'm Dano.
I'm Matt at Arms.
And I'm Storm Rage, and we're here to remind everyone that Chrono Trigger is a game, and the games are supposed to be fun. This week we will be playing from Medina Village, one of the many, many times we go to Medina Village, all the way through the mountain of WOAH. I think the only time we go to the mountain of WOAH. Next week we are playing from Zeal Palace to the end of the game. And apparently, I don't know this, but I am reading it, so I do know this. If you're playing along, here are where all the side quests live. At the very end next week, once you get to the end game, our friend in a top hat, is that the man at the end of time?
That is the man at the end of time.
We'll talk about all the people who need our help. It's skippable, but might go into the final boss. But you might go into the final boss underleveled. I'm not your mom or your dad, so do whatever you want. Next week we'll be playing from Medina Village through. Nope, I've already done that one. Skip it up. We're good to go.
Yeah. Oops, my bad. I believe though, Storm Rage, I don't think it's a top hat. I think it's like a bowler hat, right?
You wrote this.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're ruining the illusion, Storm Rage. The magic is ruined.
It's a bowler.
It's a bowler. I'm pretty sure it's a bowler.
Great, the man in a bowler hat.
Next week we find out who he is. That's fun. I've got.
Oh, that is fun.
That is fun.
I just assumed he was, time god.
I mean, no, kind of. He's like, no. I would say no, but he's like,
okay.
He's the doctor. That's who he is.
It's cool. It's cool though. I like him. He's
Doctor Who. He's Doctor Who.
I don't. We don't need to go into details about this.
Uh-oh.
But going into next week, I'm a little worried of the Final Fantasy ending here. It's not a Final Fantasy, so I'm really hoping it doesn't happen. But in almost every Final Fantasy that I have played, which is, again, not many, there's a big bad that you're going to try to fight the entire game. And then at the end of the game, in the last, hour, the big bad turns out to not actually be the big bad, and there's this other, cosmic alien that's been causing this whole thing.
Oh.
I'm going to be real bummed if the big bad is not actually just fighting Lavos.
I mean...
No, it's not. It is.
It's not.
Lavos
it's
is the big bad.
No. Yeah, Lavos
Okay.
is just a big cosmic alien that you were dealing with.
So...
Spoiler alert for this episode.
We already had the Final Fantasy thing happen. It happened during this episode. When we went to the Fiend Lord's Keep and then... Oh, it hasn't happened yet. Oh, that is next week. It is next week. Sorry.
No, we went to the Fiend Lord's Keep and killed Magus.
No, there is a thing next week that you just described. But it's not the big bad. It's not Lavos. Lavos is the big bad in this game. But there 100% is a thing that you just described that can happen depending on choices that you make. So
amazing. Great.
I've got a Dagger on Age update. So I said last week I'm running 2 mods. I'm running 4 mods.
That's more.
It is more. I added 2 more mods. So just as a quick upkeep, Nathaniel's 4K resolution mod. This makes the UI work on larger resolutions. Quinn's Ultimate Dragon Age Origins Fix Pack. This just fixes all the bugs that EA couldn't be bothered to fix. These 2 new ones here. These are completely optional, and they're be helpful when you are going into. Well, one's helpful when going into Inquisition. The other one is just because personal preference. So the third one is the Chantry Robes Inquisition colors fix. So in between Origins and Inquisition, so the Chantry plays a big role in both of these games. And in between these games, the Chantry robes change from being brownish in Origins to white and red in Inquisition. The white and red in Inquisition is super iconic and cool. So all this mod does is change the Inquisition robe. It changes the Chantry robes to the white and red of Inquisition. So that's just like a preference. Yes, Storm Rage?
Is there a poly romance mod for this game?
Oh, you can go ahead. 100% there must be, because 95% of these mods had to have been written by like 17-year-old boys. So
Good.
You just go ahead. You go ahead through Nexus and you see what you get. Like,
my goal in every game we play this year, because there's a lot of RPGs, is to romance as many people as possible.
Well, you are playing the right games.
Good.
Except for this one.
Yeah, there's no romance in Chrono Trigger.
There is romance in Chrono Trigger. We have it today. You wrote it in the show notes that you're reading later.
Okay.
And the last one I'm running is Practical Morrigan robes. So this just makes it so if you don't want her like playing in her pajamas in the early game, that she's wearing just like an actual reasonable adventuring outfit. Yes, Storm Rage.
Can I go the other way? Is there a mod that is unpractical robes for everybody?
Oh, like, Storm Rage.
Okay, good. Okay.
Oh, Storm Rage. Yes.
Great. I really like that reaction a lot, Dano.
And here's the ones I have installed. No,
oh my gosh. I challenge you to go to Nexus Mods and then just sort by most downloaded, and what you will see unspeakable on this podcast. Blizzard appropriate. Just so everyone knows, we have the large address aware patch. You looking at it now? Yeah, he's looking at it now. Of course
I'm looking at it now, Dano.
We have the large address aware patch and directions on how to use them. Links in our Discord. Just go to the pinned comment in the Dagger and Age channel. I've been running it for the past 2 weeks, and my identity has not been stolen yet.
Mine might have been.
Maybe.
That might be from something else.
So you probably don't want, in case you're curious what in the world this means, this is what it means directly from the Steam forums. So LAA equals large address aware, aka a 4 GB launcher / loader. LAA basically allows for a game's executable to use more than the standard 2 GB of RAM. Unfortunately, Steam's DA origins.exe file is encrypted and can't be LLA patched. Thus, the guide requires you to replace it with the .exe provided. This is helpful as it addresses the known memory leak issue that exists in this game and was never corrected with patches. Basically, when 2 GB of RAM was used by this game, a lot of users find that their game either slowed down to a crawl, had loading time issues, or simply crashed, or did a combination of all three. As such, the .exe used in this guide aims to remedy all of this. It apparently is the same version as the game and is reported by multiple sites and friends to work fine. Only recommended for 64-bit PCs. So that's what that is. That's the patch we've been talking about this whole time. It works just fine. It's really easy. There are directions in the link, so just go to our Discord and find it. You also can just find it by searching LAA in the Dragon Age Origins Steam forums. So, how you doing there, Storm Rage? You seem...
There's not enough for the men. There's a few for the women, but I want more for the men. It needs to be equal.
Yeah, they kind of do the men a little bit, but like obviously, like I said, this was written by 17-year-old boys for the most part. So yeah. Dragon Age does the thing where it really wants the women to be in skimpy clothing. This happens a lot in Inquisition with some of like the outfits where like they will have like the women will have basically a bikini top, and then they'll put the men in like shirtless with suspenders, and it's like it's the same. I'm like, they both look bad. Like, who's fighting in that? So that's something to look forward to.
There are no poly romance mods available on Nexus Mods.
That is sad for everyone.
That
involved.
Is sad. I have to choose one person. Ridiculous.
That's I'm sorry for you in advance. We have objections though, so let's go ahead and get to that.
Oh yeah.
Objection! 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 Oh, objection! Objection!
It's the best one.
Objection! 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 Objection!
So we had a couple of pronunciation issues in recent weeks, and we wanted to clear those up. So we did post a poll in Discord and about whether it's Marley or Marl, which rhymes with snarl. And Marl won because it is correct. And I think we all can just put it to bed. Marl is correct. And then Raven chiming in from the top rope with the actual reasoning behind why Marl is correct. So here we go.
There's only 5 letters that we can use.
Maybe sort of. Raven says, just got to last week's episode today, was off work last week, so no podcast driving time, and I have an answer for Storm Rage's question about the E in Marl. It's due to the fact that the word came to English from the Old French. They had the E sometimes that did in fact pronounce it as the Latin root from the They had the E sometimes, did in fact pronounce it as the Latin root, has an E there. But in Middle English, so around 1200 CE, the E was dropped from both the pronunciation and spelling of the word. Flash forward to the late 1600s, early 1700s, where the lexicographers, there you go, nailed it first try, set down the official spellings in modern English. They included the E to make it look more Latin. They did this a lot, in fact. That's why there is an L in salmon and a B in debt and a P in receipt.
Yeah, but the thing about that is, those are real English words. This is not. This is a name. Names can be spelled however you want them to be spelled. And if you want your name to be spelled in a way that everybody knows how to pronounce it, you can just do that. If you just remove the E, everybody knows how to pronounce that. This isn't like an ancient script that has been passed down through English upon English upon English, or Latin into English into Latin into English. This is from Japan in 1980s to English.
The people have spoken. It's Marl. It is Marl, Storm Rage. So I would just like you to deal with that. Deal with being wrong, because you're so wrong. And I know it hurts to be wrong, but you're wrong. Wrong. So I did ask Steven Sensei, who is an English teacher in Japan, lived in Japan for a number of years now. 6, 7, 8.
I also would note that the pronunciation in Japanese, the phonetic pronunciation of Japanese, and I'm not going to try to do an accent here. Don't worry. The phonetic pronunciation, according to the Wikipedia, is Maru, which is a way better name. Why didn't they just give us Maru? Like, that's just a better name.
It's
and I don't have any questions about how that's pronounced.
It was
actually,
the 90s.
It's a long A, so it's Meru.
That's fine too. Either one is fine.
I don't.
Both are better than Moral, which is probably the worst name.
We could have
I've
a Moral
ever come
listening
across
right
in a
now.
JRPG.
We could have a Moral listening right now, and you just
1-star review from all
name.
The Marls in the
Wonderful
podcast
name.
world.
Marl, I love your name, and it's great and perfect, and you don't have to listen to anything Daniel has to say about your great name.
And also, you may have been named by because of Chrono Trigger, because you
maybe,
because this game is 30 years old.
and maybe you're from the South where they pronounce Marl Marley, and if that's fine, and you go by Marley, that's also fine. Anyway, so Steven, I did message Steven. He did record it for me. I didn't have time to get it into the drops, but he did say it was Masamune. So Masamune, which was...
That's what I said last week.
I know. It was very disappointing.
Well, apparently in Japanese, you like pronounce every character, not like in English where just characters don't exist, like L in salmon and B in debt.
And the P in receipt.
In receipt, P in receipt. There we go. Call back to 5 minutes ago.
Let's thank our patrons.
Thanks. I am pretty incredible.
Thank.
Thank.
I love how when
I don't know if I'm in a thanking mood right now.
You're just mad because you were half right. I don't know why you're mad. I came down hard on how wrong you were, and then you were just right. And you're welcome for admitting it, by the way. I could have kept that secret to myself. So
Yeah. Thank you.
happy to make myself look dumb for a good goof. Big thanks to our patrons and to our Twitch subs.
That's the actual credo of this show. Happy to make ourselves look dumb for a good goof.
I mean, yeah, 271 episodes of making myself look dumb for a good goof. Is that what we're at? 271, is that right? It is.
That
Holy
seems
moly.
crazy.
It is crazy. Thank you again to our patrons and Twitch subs for those 271 episodes, keeping the lights on. We appreciate that very, very much. Squelch out for Dork this week if we have time, because this episode might be a long one. So if we don't have time this week, we'll push this off to next week. But we are going to talk about our favorite video game soundtracks. So I've got opinions, by the way, and I think I know what Daniel's is, and I have opinions on that as well. So I kind of really want to talk about this. So I'm excited.
Oh, interesting. What do you think mine is?
I think it's going to be Mass Effect.
Interesting. Okay, it is in my top 3. It is not my number 1, but it is in my top 3.
Nice. All right, so real quick, some lore here.
This one's a real page turner.
All right, so we're not going super in depth into where are our friends this week because we really don't have a lot to say about our friends. So just real quick, cast of characters. We have Isla. Isla, is that right?
Ayala?
Who's to say? Who's to say anymore?
I'm going to say Isla. You say it however you want.
In my brain, it's been Ayla, but
I think you're right.
I'm not confident on this
one. I think you're right, Ayla. Ayla is a cave woman from 65 million BC. She is awesome, and she can't use magic because she is from before the time of magic. Chrono.
This is amazing.
Chrono is our game's protagonist. He uses light magic / lightning magic. He hails from 1000 AD. Luca is Chrono's best friend and an inventor, also from 1000 AD. And Chrono's mom cannot remember her name. Marl, which rhymes with snarl, is actually Princess Nadia of the Guardia Kingdom. Marl is from 1000 AD. Frog is a frog. His name rhymes with monologue. Frog is a great sword user from 600 AD, and we are going to visit his bog. It's not really a bog, though, sadly. It could be a bog, though, today. And then we have Robo, the R-series robot from 2300 AD. Am I missing anybody? Yes.
You're not missing anybody.
Good.
But I am going to, I'm going to timestamp this in case you want to cut this out, because I don't know if this is a fun goof or not. But I do have a question. It uses the terms both BC and AD. Are we to assume that in this universe there is also a Jesus, and it happened at the 0 mark? Or is there a different reason why they call it BC versus AD? What is the time frame? Is this set in our real world, and this is just like alternate timelines? Why is it BC and AD?
Don't you remember Lava's coming out in 1999?
that would have been the continents also exactly match up to our current Earth's continents as well.
Yeah,
I think so we get a lot of it in this episode. Actually, this week we play a lot of it where it's kind of like mirrors. It's like an alternate universe version of Earth, where like 65 million BC dinosaurs, and then you had 12,000 BC, which was kind of the Ice Age. So it mirrors that kind of stuff. So I think they use that as shorthand to like connect the story to time frames that people actually listen to or play with. So
okay.
So like we're aware, like that what 65 million BC is, right? You know what 12,000 BC is. And you know kind of like what Middle Ages would have been like around 1000 AD, future 2300. So it's kind of shorthand to give the person playing the game an idea of current technology levels. I mean, we all remember that during the Ice Age, there was magic. We all remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember the time when I studied the Ice Age and I found out that they had teleportation pads and magic floating cities. I did miss that one.
Yeah, you never know, right?
I can't believe you missed that day in history class. That's embarrassing for you.
Yeah, sometimes I'm just a dingus. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean,
I was trying really hard to come up with something on the fly.
I don't know. 2300 looks pretty close to what it might look like. I'm just saying.
We don't have dome cities.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah. So no, not a good. I don't know. I wanted to have a funny answer, but I couldn't. I was like thinking like before Chrono, but Chrono was 1000, so
Yeah.
didn't really work.
There's like no real good explanation for why they use those markers. Like you could just do like BCE, but I guess that probably wasn't like a common term back then.
But yeah, that's what it is though,
but-
right? Common era. That's what it
Yeah.
kind of is. I mean, that wasn't really a thing in the 90s, so.
Right.
No, there's got to be a good goof here. I just can't think of it on the fly. So
I know. That's why I was like, I think there's something here. Let's set it up and see if we can get anything. And I don't know if we did.
I think I figured it out, and
Ooh.
it goes into the wiki lore, the Wikipedia, the Chrono wiki lore. Year 0 AD is when the year Guardia was founded.
So after
Oh.
the
Kingdom of
Guardia.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they use like 0 is like when the Kingdom of Guardia was founded, so they just use that as the.
Oh, it would have been because 1000 AD. They're celebrating 1000 years of Guardia. That's
Yes,
right.
there you go.
So shouldn't it be like
AG, yeah,
Yeah.
AG and BG,
BG
yeah,
and AG? 100% should be BG and AG before
But
Guardia
also,
and after
like-
Guardia.
This is translated from Japanese games, so you never like they might have just.
It was a mistranslation.
Yes.
That might have been it.
I like that. So it is BG and AG canonically, but it was
Yes.
mistranslated from Japanese to English, and then never
I
fixed
feel
any of
better.
the 5 ports.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel better about this headcanon. I feel good about things now.
Yes.
I like it. Okay, it's time to get to the recap. It's a short one for sure.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Gato. I know that this does break the illusion. I wrote all the recaps for Mass Effect. Dano has written most of them for Chrono Trigger, and Dano has written entirely all of this week's for Chrono Trigger. So if you like any of the good goofs, you're welcome. Thank Dano. And if you don't, I probably didn't deliver them right. So here's the first paragraph, and I'm really excited to read it. We pick up. Okay, no. There's more that is being typed. Am I good now?
I don't know. I didn't actually have time to proofread it, so it might be a total mess. Sorry. If it is. I'm just realizing that this doesn't read too good, but in my head it was great.
No, I'm here for it, Dano. We pick up this week in Melchior's house. With
they are
so
fixing
that we are building
where they are fixing.
Masamune.
Okay, there we go.
We are fixing the great sword that we went back in time to get the correct materials for after getting the hilts from Frog and the blade from the sword itself. Now, Masa rhymes with Vasa, which is a parrot native to the island of Madagascar, and Mune, which sounds like a Canadian boy looking up at the nearest celestial body to Earth. Check out that moon, eh? Now that the legendary sword is put together, we need a hero to wield it. Time to find a child or a frog. Now, you might be thinking, we have a main character. Can't our main character wield it? No. We gotta find a frog. So, we find a frog capable of wielding a sword, having a bit of a burnout in his grotto. No shade, we've all been there, but it's time to cheer up our pal and get him out of his house. Frog is shocked to see the sword, but has to think about it. He goes, maybe not. He asks us to stay the night in his home, which is a hole in the ground. It's nice that he invited us. It's kind of rude that we're held captive here, because it's just a hole in the ground, with some dirt walls and a dirt floor. Chrono and his friends stay the night while Frog ponders this turn of events. There is now a flashback montage. The montage begins with a Chad-looking alpha knight speaking to the king and queen of Guardia in 600 AD. This knight his name is Cyrus, and he is telling the king and queen that it is time for the king to reclaim the hero badge from the Frog King. He also wants to see some sword. The king steps forward and tells Cyrus to be careful because the kingdom needs him, but more importantly, the king and queen need him. Cough, cough. Anywho, Cyrus the Knight makes his way out to the castle and meets a less Chad-looking dude named Glenn and apologizes for the delay and that it is time for them to be off. Queen Lean runs out and tells Glenn to be careful as well. Glenn has two ends, which isn't important to the story of the game, but does officially confirm that they really didn't care about how names were spelled in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, five characters.
It doesn't mean you have to use all 5. Robo is 4. Frog is 4.
Does Frog have 2 G's, though?
That is
No.
a goof I'm making in about 1 paragraph.
Great. We cue the montage of Cyrus, Glenn, and the unnamed lady. Do we ever find out who this person is?
Nope, that goof is also coming up in 1 paragraph.
Great. I'm just going to keep reading. I'm going to stop asking questions.
No. I like it this way.
And an unnamed lady fighting their way to the Frog King. We know that he is the Frog King because he's a frog wearing a crown, and even the subtitles are like, the Frog King says no! They defeat the Frog King using the power of the Nirvana Strike. This powerful tech is never mentioned ever again in the history of the game. Cue another montage of Cyrus and Glenn, but now they are fighting the Fiend Lord, Magus and his general, Ozzy. The lady who helped them defeat the Frog King is not there. It is very safe to assume that she died in a tragic manner between the fight with the Frog King and the fight on the mountaintop. But who cares? Cyrus loses his sword as Glenn falls to the ground severely wounded. Cyrus turns to Glenn and tells him that he'll hold them off while Glenn escapes. Cyrus attacks Magus in a desperate attempt to buy Glenn some time. With his dying words, Cyrus begs Glenn to protect Queen Lean. Then they literally set Cyrus on fire. Glenn stands to fight, and Magus turns him into a frog. Glenn is, in fact, Frog. Dana, would you like to describe this paragraph here?
I do. I have 2 things I need. So first off is a mistake on my part. I regret so strongly not naming Frog. Like 2 G's Frog would have been perfect with Glennon. You know, it's a mistake that I can't believe I didn't see when I was a child. And I regret not having double G Frog right now. And then I need information about this young lady. Like, there has to be a fanfic about this, right? And I searched the internet for a little bit trying to find something about her adventures and or misadventures, and there's nothing. And it makes my heart sad because, like, she's there, like, fighting the good fight with him, and then, like, she's not there. Like, why was she there with the Frog King and not there when they were fighting Magus and Ozzy? I just have questions. Makes me sad.
It's a good question.
I want more.
It's a very good question.
Anyway, that's just me. Go ahead.
Should I continue on?
Yeah, you may notice I fix how frog is spelled in the show notes from here on out.
Good. Now that we have Frog and Masamune and the hero's badge, it is time to storm the Magus' castle. We go to the magic cave, but the way is blocked. Before we can figure out how to get in, we are transported back in time via the power of flashbacks. This time, a green-haired boy is being bullied by purple-haired boards. We know it is sad because the sad music theme is playing. The boys with purple hair are stalked by a teenager named Cyrus. Hey, we just talked about Cyrus. It turns out that the kid with green hair is actually Glenn. Cyrus gives Glenn a pep talk about being manly, and that manly men need to step up and not get bullied. Wow, was this game made in the 80s or 90s? Who's to say?
Right?
Glenn tells Cyrus that it hurts to get hit, and that he doesn't want to hurt other people, even if they are hurting him. You know what? Fair, Glenn. Cyrus tells Glenn that he is too soft. Kind of rude. Fast forward some years, and there is a young man looking out over the water of the Zenin Bridge. And this is genuinely like a really beautiful moment in the game, and the art design is really just phenomenal. He is in light armor, a sword slung over his back, and a shoulder armor on, the brown hair blowing in the wind. It looks great. This is a very cool-looking character model of Cyrus. Cyrus is off to join the Knights. He wants Glenn to come along and tells Glenn that he is better off with the sword than him. Glenn turns him down and says he cannot. He doesn't want to hurt people. What a loser, am I right? Come on, violence is fun. Fast forward again, and now Glenn is back on the mountain standing over the burned-out corpse of his friend. Cyrus and the Magus has turned him into a living frog. Glenn, now Frog, is living at the base of the mountain, and the hero's badge floats by. Back in 600 AD, Frog is like, I'm Glenn, and I carry the hopes and dreams of my friend Cyrus. And now I have the Masamune, and I'm going to slay Magus and reclaim our honor. Then he cuts the hill in half and reveals the entrance to the Magus' castle. It's very dramatic. We know that because very dramatic and uplifting music is playing. Does Frog ever cut a mountain in half? Never again, to my knowledge, or at the very least, certainly not at this point in the game. Would that be really extremely useful at certain points of the game? Yeah, I think it would. I think it would, Frog. Can we get on that again? Please? I'd like to cut mountains in half. Thank you.
I mean, speaking about it, it would be just very helpful at the end of this part of the podcast. Like, the mountain of woe, you're fighting basically the top of a mountain. Like, it would have been helpful, Frog.
I want to pause here. How did you guys feel about the kind of the backstory of Frog and kind of the reveals here and his journey and all that jazz?
This
Matt?
is probably like one of the best stories in the game, like hands down. Like the fact that Frog is Glenn was Cyrus's squire, and he watched Cyrus give himself, like, basically just get murdered in front of him, and then he gets, cast aside and has to now avenge Cyrus and whoever else was there. Some woman that nobody cares about apparently. No, it's great. It's like absolutely moving. It's like the cutscene. The cutscenes are great. The like I said, the bridge scene is absolutely beautiful. The little like inserted cutscene we get where we watch Frog, the little anime cutscene with Frog cutting the mountain, opening the cave door to the caves is amazing. It's just like, yeah, and like we finally see Frog stop bumming out and stop being like a little, having a bad week of being a frog and being.
He's a sad emo boy.
He's amazing. He's great.
I think it's super
Dana?
interesting, right? I think so. Like, there's a couple of ways to take it, which is like Cyrus is kind of trying to like alpha male him and saying like, your feelings don't matter and you're a man, therefore you must be, angry or whatever it might be, which is want to fight, which is one thing. But I think to look at it another way, which is kind of cool, was kind of accepting what, like, he wanted one thing but was dealt a completely different hand,
Right.
And then kind of dealt with that in multiple different ways, right? With like first accepting it and going off and like becoming Queenling's protector, and then feeling like he failed and going to hide in his bog, and then accepting it once again with the help of his friends and becoming the hero that Cyrus always wanted him to be. It's kind of a neat story, and it's not necessarily a happy story. Like,
No.
dude just wanted to like chill and like be nice to people, and instead he has to go off and like save the world, and he's doing it, and he's dealing with what it takes, even though it's not the person he wants to be. I think it's actually a really neat story. And then the cutscene is just amazing. I absolutely love it. It's such a cool moment. Like when he Chrono puts the Masamune in the ground, and Frog goes and takes it and has this like really cool speech about who he is and what he stands for, and then he like splits the mountain literally in half to reveal the cave to Magus's castle. It is a super cool moment in games. It's just a really very neat, powerful moment, and I absolutely love it. I kind of struggled with his story a little bit, like in a way, this time around that I didn't when I was a teenager, because I was like, this isn't necessarily a happy story. The story of him like learning to be strong. And, I didn't really think about it when I was a kid, but now coming back as like an adult, it's a really neat and interesting story. Whether it was intentionally written that way or not, I don't know. But like kind of working through it and thinking about it as an adult is really cool. And I think it's a really neat story and one of the better stories in the game, I think. So, yeah.
I agree. I always love a reluctant hero. Somebody that does it because they have to, not because they want to. And Frog is very much a reluctant hero who does not really want to be there. And it takes us a while to convince him to join the fight, and a while longer to like actually get him in full stride. I do have a question though, and I don't know if this is answered later in the game or if it was answered earlier on and I missed it. Is there a reason Chrono can't wield Masamune? Is it
he uses katanas? That's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only reason.
Okay. So not really a good explanation for it, but I'll take it. Because I do like Frog a lot, and I like the pacing of the story. I like how long they take to get to Frog's backstory, how patient they are with the here's Frog. He's going to help you out. All right, now he's gone. Okay, now you can go talk to him, but he's not going to help you out. Okay, now you start to understand a little bit more about him, but he's still not going to help you out. Now he's the only one that you have to have, but he's not going to help you out. And I really liked the pacing and then eventually the kind of full reveal of his story.
Mhm.
So while I think it's a little silly how we ended up getting him, I do really like his story a lot. Continuing on. We find ourselves in the Fiend Lord's Keep, aka Magus's castle, and we are being followed around by a bat. And Daniel, you wrote we probably don't need to worry about that. I don't remember the bat ever paying off. I just remember being followed by a bat this entire time.
Oh, the bat pays off.
Yeah, the bat is one of the bosses.
I just missed it.
Yeah.
All right, good to know. I didn't get that at all. The castle itself is very, very creepy. There are no monsters and no music. We walk through and there are humans and adults, but they're acting weird. There are also like different versions of people that we have met. And I'm guessing that this is reflected based on who was in your party at the time. Because
Yes.
I had like Marley, who then we saw her father. I switched her out for Luca, and then I saw Luca's mom. And so really interesting dynamic there to like see the people that they care about the most in this like catatonic state almost. And after exploring both wings of the castle, a save point appears. As we approach it, the bat flies off and Ozzy appears. Ozzy is one of the generals of Magus, and we've seen him a few times. He taunts frogs and then summons the monsters. Instead of the battle music, though, we get some eerie background music that accompanies us throughout the castle. Very cute, very cool, and very effective at setting the tone of Magus's castle. Now that the monsters have appeared, we have to fight our way through the two wings of the castle. Each wing has a boss at the end of it. The left-hand wing is home to the boss Slash, who does super cool physical attacks, and the right-hand boss is home to the boss Flea. Flea is a like really fun boss. I really wish that there was more of Flea because he's super sassy, and I love bosses that are more than just I will end you. And there are a few bosses that are like this in Chrono Trigger, but most of the bosses are kind of just I am evil, I'm going to end you. So Flea is a really fun departure from that. So Flea is a male character and calls himself using he/him pronouns, but also has a female gender expression. He wears women's clothes and uses feminine wiles to attack the character with heart attacks and blown kisses that puts them to sleep, poisons them, or confuses them. Boy howdy, kisses can be confusing. Once you defeat Flea and Slash, we have to chase down Ozzy. Ozzy has set up a Rube Goldberg machine of traps to defeat our heroes, and it's phenomenal. Every
It's
time
so
you get
good.
through one of his traps, he goes, "How did you do that?" and then runs away and sets up another trap. It's perfect, and I love him.
Mm-hmm.
Once we have cornered Ozzy, he encases himself in ice, and you cannot damage him. So what do? You trigger all the traps around him, and he falls through the floor of the castle. How did you guys feel about these bosses and the sections leading up to Magus?
I absolutely love like the Magus castle leading up to Magus. I think it's so much fun. Like setting it up just like the creepy way that they kind of like you walk in and then the sound just drops out. So you have no background music whatsoever, and all you get is like the click click of opening chests and opening doors. Really, really cool. Slash and Flea are really cool as well. Slash a little bit less so than Flea. Flea is amazing. One of the, I think, most iconic bosses in this game, or maybe 90s JRPGs. Really, really fun character. And an absolutely crazy, hectic boss fight. Because, like, like you're constantly having someone fall asleep. Your group's constantly poisoned. They're constantly confused. They attack their party members. Or if they do attack Flea, it's by very little damage. The Flea fight starts with, like, there being a mini-boss in the way. And when you attack the mini-boss, like, you kill it immediately, but not before it steals the MP of whichever character attacked it.
Oh, that was killer. All of a sudden, Chrono went from 50 MP to 0, and I was like, well, this is a challenge.
Yeah. I'm just going to ether ready. Just have an ether queued up, ready to go. You're fine.
And then Ozzy is just hilarious. I just love Ozzy.
Yeah.
And then the fact that it's Ozzy, Flea, and Slash. from the 90s. So you have they're all musicians.
Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne, Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Red Hot
and
Chili
Slash
Peppers.
from yeah.
Oh.
It's so good.
They all Ozzy, Flea, and Slash, right? Which I have to imagine is intentional. I didn't notice it until just now. Not just now, but like until this current playthrough. But I have to imagine it's intentional. There's no way it wasn't intentional. So it's great. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. It's such a fun castle. It's an amazing dungeon. And then there are not a ton of save points. Like you have to deal with Flea and Slash without saving, which is just crazy.
Without saving and without using a shelter. So you either have to use like a bunch of ethers and potions, or you have to go into a fight without being fully healed up. Like you have to make some really interesting choices. Now I've saved all of my ethers and potions for instances like this. So I was able to skip by without too much trouble, but I do like that they make you use them here.
Oh, I ran out of Athenian waters after Flea. And I was like, this is going to be a struggle. Like, I'm out of Athenian waters. I don't want to go back to town and get more Athenian waters. So I got to push through.
Did you have revive on Chrono yet?
Yes.
Okay.
But I literally had Marl the entire time just tossing Athenian waters because she never got it targeted. And I think I had Frog and Chrono X attack Flea the entire time.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Marl's on healing and status, and then and Chrono and Frog were doing all the damage.
I don't use Marl for anything. Or hardly anything at all. I don't think I think that Frog does better heals and also is better.
Oh, Frog
in
has
the
an
dungeon.
AoE heal. That's why. Frog has an AoE heal, but like Marl's like only AoE heal is like okay with Chrono. Like in Chrono's such a big damage dealer that it's like it's not good enough.
Marl is the most busted character in the game. What are you talking about?
She doesn't have any good AoE.
Haste
is the best
Haste is
spell
good,
in
sure,
the game.
But like, haste is fine.
Haste. I used haste a lot in this dungeon, especially
every
at the
boss
end
fight
here.
is so much easier with haste. You just haste everybody. You win
haste
the
her.
boss fight.
No, you haste her and then you haste the rest of them. Because
Yes.
I just use my speed capsules, so I don't need to worry about haste.
You know what's better? You do both. You use speed capsules, and then you haste them.
Mm-hmm.
Speed does max out.
Like this dungeon is my favorite.
Yeah,
in the game.
it's good. That's a good.
It is so good. It's incredible. Like the boss fights are good. The traps and puzzles they're not really puzzles. They're just traps.
They're just traps.
The traps are great.
There's no puzzle to it. You just kind of fall down the hole, and then you have to fight your way back up, and then you fall down the hole again.
But there is a save point. But there is a save point down there, which is nice.
Well, yeah, one of the 4 blinky things is a save point, and the other one is nothing, and then the other 2 summon monsters. Is that right? Is that how that goes?
Yeah, the other 2 summon monsters, and one teleports you back. Yeah.
It's so much fun. It's just
good.
so well designed. It's just so great. And then when he encases himself in ice, and then you just
it's really funny.
Hit the gears so that he falls through the hole. It's just so fun. I'm like, I know what to do.
From here, we then go into Magus. The fight is bananas. Bananas. During the first half of the fight, he does nothing but cast AoE magic attacks, and these attacks themselves shift as you attack him. And you have to use the correct magic against him. So in order, he'll be like, he's weak to lightning damage, which means you have to use lightning attacks. This makes it really difficult if you only have 2 types of magic, like I did when I had just Chrono and Marl and Frog. I should have I had Ayla, Chrono, and it doesn't.
You don't
matter.
have Ayla. You
I
don't
only
have
had
Ayla
2
yet.
types
You
of
don't have
magic. It's
Ayla
the only
yet.
thing that matters there, and it sucked.
So I was the same way because I forgot to take Frog to the end of time to get his magic before going to Magus' castle. So Frog didn't have his heal spell yet or his water attack spell yet.
No.
So yeah,
no.
I know. So I was basically when I was like, I felt so. I tried to like mention that last week without giving away too many hints, but yeah, I completely goofed it for not going and getting his magic. But I got through it. But yeah, it was just.
Well,
I think I had Luca with fire, Chrono with lightning, and then Frog was on heals duty because he had like the slurp. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
At about 50% health, though, he will flip over and start charging up a massive AoE spell that will deal damage to our entire party, enough that it will get them down into like basically one attack until they're knocked out, but not quite enough to kill them all. And in between those massive attacks, you can go all out. There are no defenses, and you can just unload on him. Once you defeat him, then it causes the Lavos summoning to go haywire. It turns out Magus didn't create Lavos, he just wanted to summon it. Well, we done goofed up his summoning and are carried into a gate that we are falling right into. How did you guys deal with the Magus fight?
This fight just rules. This fight's
It's
so
a good fight.
It's a really good fight. The intro's really cool with the flames opening up around in a circle when he's on the pentagram, right? And it's just so incredibly good. And the fight's really hard, but fair. You know, it's a really good fight. And like I just used Chrono and Frog's X attack the entire time and just had Marl heal everybody. And I think one round, I think I just, before he went off on his big spell, I just had everybody heal up, like with potions and go. So
this fight was not too difficult for me. I basically cast haste on everybody, and then whenever they were weak to something, I went all out, and then when they weren't, I just kind of waited and healed. And then once everything got fully up, and then I started, and he didn't have any defense, Chrono just does so much damage that when he's hasted and he attacks twice as fast, everybody goes down pretty fast. So it wasn't too bad for me, but it was really fun trying to figure out the timing of it.
I love this fight. Absolutely love this fight. I think it's super hectic when like you have limited magic options. So it can get really kind of sketchy, and then just trying to get like Frog to attack to switch over his weakness so you can get the weakness to whatever you happen to have, because whenever you attack with like weapons, it flips his weakness. And then you have to be hitting with Frog in order to reduce his magic weakness, because the Mass Immune like lowers his magic defense. And so it's kind of like, you know, making sure you're hitting with Frog, and then when you got a weakness that you have, you know, being able to attack with that weakness. It's a ton of fun. I absolutely love this fight. And then I was playing it on active battle instead of wait, and it was so hectic.
That sounds way terrible.
I almost went to like during this fight, like I need to switch because there's just so much going on, especially when everybody's hasted. It's just like it's so hard.
I don't use haste that often. I probably should use it more. I'm so used
haste
to like,
is so good, dude.
I'm so used to Final Fantasy games where like those kind of spells are oftentimes really worthless unless they're broken. That I never really.
And this one is broken.
Yeah,
it's
I never
broken.
really think about them too much, like the status effects and that kind of stuff. So it's not. I usually kind of skip that kind of stuff, or I'm too impatient to like use 3 different turns of my character to cast haste on each person. So, yeah, but something I'll have to do more often. Especially as we get to the end boss.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. So after Magus, Chrono wakes up in his bed, and Marley is waking him up. Apparently they are married, and Chrono slept in. He's also kind of a deadbeat, which is crazy, but she says he can't be late for work and lose another job, and that they can't keep asking her dad for help. So I guess that's a thing.
He's just Goku.
And it turns out, nope, it was all just fake. And it was just a nightmare, and just kind of a weird thing to put in there, because like it can't be Chrono's dream, because Chrono, I imagine, doesn't dream of being a deadbeat, and it's not really a full nightmare because he's still married to Marl, which is pretty nice. So it's just kind of like being okay with things. It's a weird addition. I don't know what the purpose of it is.
It's like, is this the future? Like, is the future like Chrono and Marl save the world, and then Chrono is like, did my bit? There's a
I saved the universe, but I still got to get to 9 to 5.
There is a webcomic, a magical girl webcomic, but it's after she's done being a magical girl and saved the universe. So it's like, you know, it's like a Sailor Moon type thing. So like she was a child, saved the world, and then like, but as is with magical girl comics, nobody knows it happened. And then so now she has to just go be a 30-something out in the world, like living her sad, lonely life. And it's like, it's just constantly her running into like enemies she has fought and former like allies. It's exactly this where it's like, I saved the world, nobody knows or cares. Like, this is my life now. I saved the world as a teen, and now I'm a 30-year-old with a bad job.
Anywho's, turns out our protagonists are actually back in 65 million BC and sleeping in Ayla's hut. She found them at the base of the Mystic Mountain, which is where they must have got spit out by the time portal. But where is Magus? Ayla asks if the big frog is a present for her to eat. Frog isn't down with that, so we instead move along. Kino comes in. Kino, of course, being one of the other kind of cave women that are helping to lead the tribe, and tells us that Ayla left to fight some Reptites that attacked Laruba village. The Larubians are super mad that she led the Reptites there, but she's all like, oh, we need to work together to fight the Reptites. It's us or them. The Larubians are pacifists, so Chrono and friends offer to help. First, they need to find a way to get to the Tyranno lair. So they go and befriend some pterodactyls. Pretty cool. This is done via fighting, which is how all the best friendships are made. Now that we have a lift, time to go fight some intelligent dinosaurs, because everyone knows that two intelligent species cannot exist in the same time and place. Mm-hmm. I do have a thing I want to talk about. There is the thing that I'm bummed about. We'll get to that in just a second. We fly our winged friends to the Tyranno lair. It's actually a super cool dungeon and a lot of fun to play through. I might contest this. This one I did not like nearly as much as Fiendlord's Keep.
Oh, no.
I actually had some really frustrating moments with this.
Oh, Fiendlord's
but
Keep,
Chrono,
you can't compare with Fiendlord's Keep. Fiendlord's Keep is just incredible, and this is like
it's
anything after that
really
is not
good.
nearly as good.
Yeah. Chrono is super good here because they're all weak to lightning, or at least most. I think there's actually one thing that you will fight that is immune to lightning, and it drove me up a wall.
Was it
Because I have an
Tyranno?
AoE lightning.
Right?
I can't remember what it is, but it's in Tyranno because I kept using AoE lightning on everything, and it would usually kill everything except for one thing, and then it would heal that thing back up. I'm like, this sucks. But after we get through a lot of prehistoric creatures, we get to the mini-boss, Nizbel. Nizbel, we've already fought before, haven't we?
Yes. Yep,
In
we have.
the last time we were here, and he is a dude bro dinosaur and doesn't skip, but does seem to skip leg day here and there. He's a ton of fun to fight because electric shock lowers his defense and everything else raises his defense. So you have to keep using lightning attacks. Seems easy, right? Wrong, because after he takes a certain amount of lightning damage, he releases it all in a massive AoE attack and kind of affirms his defense.
Yes.
So then you have to restart hitting him with things, with lightning in order for you to deal any damage. After defeating Nizbel, we continue up on our way to the castle until we confront Azala again. Azala, in case you forgot, is the king of Reptites. Azala and Ayla are on the same page that Reptites and humans cannot coexist and that one race must perish. The way to determine this is a boss battle. Huzzah! We hear a mighty roar, and Azala heads outside. We follow Azala, and he is mounted on the shoulders of a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex, complete with a spiked collar. Tyranno is pretty stout until it starts winding up for its big fire attack. And while it's counting down, you can heal and blast it with physical attacks. Azala is weak to lightning, so Chrono can use his dual attack with Ayla to make quick work of him. After we have dispatched the Tyranno, Azala crawls out, dying, shocked that the heavens have sided with the apes. He asks Ayla to remember that they fought well and went down fighting. They have a moment before Azala has the last laugh, telling our heroes that a great fire is coming from the sky, and when it arrives, it will destroy everything in and usher in a great age of ice and snow. Here, Ayla coins the name Lavos as the camera pans up into space, showing Lavos hurling toward the Earth. Azala's final words to Ayla are, "Take care of the Earth." As our heroes ride off on some dactyls, right as Lavos crashes into the Tyranno lair. We go to the where Lavos fell to try to destroy Lavos here and now, but when they get to the crash site, Lavos is already buried into the Earth, leaving behind a time gate. How did you guys feel about this section?
I love this section. I think it's so much fun. I love this. I think it's a super fun dungeon again. It has like many of the similar mechanics, but they are a little bit more costly. I feel like as like where Magus's keep was kind of whimsical at certain points, there like that whimsy wasn't really in this. But I thought it was I enjoyed the mechanics a ton. I thought like you kind of got punished for wandering a little bit, which I enjoyed. Yeah. I think it's great. And I think the boss fight and then like the post boss fight scene is absolutely iconic. So like Tyrannos is just this giant T-Rex, and then having like the king like riding on his shoulder is just really cool. I absolutely love it. And then when you see Lavos hurtling towards Earth as the asteroid, I think it's just so much fun. It's just absolutely so much fun.
It's so good. And I love the reveal at the end where it's like La Vos or whatever.
Yeah, law for fire and Voss for big or something like that. So
yeah,
I think
something
it's what
like
she
that.
said.
Yeah, but it was like, okay, so and we learned that Lavos came to the planet like ancient times and has been brewing in the core forever. It's great. It's just a great little reveal, and and then we get to the next section, which is probably my favorite section. So
I really liked the boss fight. I really liked the kind of the scene leading up to the boss fight and afterwards. I did not enjoy this dungeon. Even a little bit. I got real frustrated a couple moments because there was some punishing things, and I think it's in my not so good, so I'll talk about it more there. I also was kind of bummed that there's a lot of nuanced storytelling with regards to our heroes. Like the reluctant hero of Frog, our robo friend kind of wanting to find a home, Ayla being a leader and a warrior. Like, I think that there's a lot of nuance on that. There doesn't seem to be a lot of nuance with any of the villains, which is, I think, really common for that time frame. But I really wish that there was like a moment between Ayla and Azala, and it felt so close, and I wonder if it was just like they wanted to imply it rather than state it, but it felt like I wanted a moment of maybe we were fighting the wrong people this whole time, or something along those lines, some sort of I respect you, I may not agree with you, but I am grateful for you, and instead it was more like, aha, turns out I'm evil to the end, get out of here, bye.
I don't think he was evil so much as it was a competition, right? And it was like there could be no compromise because the two of them, the two peoples felt so different from each other that they refused to compromise, which I think in itself is true to how we see conflict even today in some cases where they just refuse to communicate until it's too late. And then, but like the thing that you're wanting is coming, just so you know.
Okay.
Yeah. But it wasn't for this one, right? Because I think they also wanted to make sure they were shoehorning in the end of the dinosaurs. I think they were very excited about that and loved that idea of having that happen. So that like bit of nuance wasn't at all in this. But I think there was still kind of a message that was told here with it as well, which was, did this have to happen? Could they not have coexisted? And like neither group was even interested in dealing with that. It was like, I would rather me and everyone I know die than you winning, which I think itself is something as well. So
yeah, I think that's fair. The gate that we find at Lavos' crash site, it leads us to the Ice Age. It's the first new location we've been to in quite some time as far as time portals go. As we wander around the Ice Age, we find a fancy-looking building named a Skyway. It's named this because it is a literal floating portal to a floating kingdom. As we wander around the cities of the magical kingdom, we learn that everyone in the floating cities has access to some magic, and some even look down on our magic as being crude. We hear about these 3 gurus who are supposed to do super cool things. We discover a giant flying machine called the Blackbird, and meet the children of the Queen of the Magic Kingdom, Lady Shala and Jonas. Jonas is just a child, and people think he doesn't have access to any magic and find him sort of whiny and broody. Lady Shala has a very powerful magic and a magical pendant that she uses to charge up the Mammon Machine. A magical pendant that's neat and probably just a coincidence. Don't we have a magical pendant? We try to follow Lady Shala to the throne room, but it is blocked by a capital M, mysterious, and a capital D door. We have seen these before in 2300 AD and in other places, in a lot of other places. Neat. Shala uses her pendant to open the door. It closes behind her, so Chrono, all like, we have a magic pendant too, so can we do that as well? It doesn't open. Guess it's not the same magical pendant. Psych, it is! We just need to charge it up at the Mammon Machine. Is Mammon just Mammoth? Because it's the Ice Age? who's to say? We charge up the pendant, open the door, and are immediately captured because a mysterious person called the Prophet said we would come and do bad things. You can technically win this fight because he summons a golem, but it is unbelievably difficult, and you have to get a little lucky. The time crew is captured, and the Prophet and the Queen force Shala to throw us into a time gate and then makes Shala seal the gate behind so we can no longer travel to the Magical Kingdom. How did everybody feel about their visit to the Magic Kingdom?
I love it.
I love
this area. So good. I love the duality. I'll get to it in my goods, in my 3 questions. But like this area is probably my favorite. It's so cool.
The music is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the being transported from like the desolate ice age up into the clouds of the Magic Kingdom, where like these humans with powerful magics exist, is so neat. And then like the dark undercurrent that we quickly find with like the Queen and her family and what is actually going on is so cool. The Magic Kingdom is amazing. And like the fact that it was like hidden there towards like the back of the game is so cool. Like it wasn't even hinted at. We had like no idea this was coming really, except for maybe a little bit from Specchio. And it's just awesome. I absolutely love it. I think it's iconic. It's absolutely iconic. And I know I said that a couple times in this episode, but the Magic Kingdom is amazing. I think Magus's castle and the Magic Kingdom are just 2 incredibly cool locations and like pulled off so incredibly well. Yeah, absolutely love it.
I love this. It was a really great example of world building and just some really fun stuff. I was a little crunched for time this week because I couldn't play it until like Friday night. So I did skip a lot in this section, and I'm kind of bummed about that. But it was so fun. I enjoyed this whole city a lot, and it was a really fun twist on what I was expecting. After all the cool magic things, yes. Any other thoughts?
The coolest, one of my favorite parts about this, which was quite whimsical, was you find the magical scratch spot for the new, which are these blue creatures basically that like serve the people of the Magic Kingdom. And like you find out where to scratch their back, and if you go and scratch their back, they will give you like different free things for scratching them in the right spot. It's just so funny.
I didn't know that. That's very silly. So, after we got all the cool magical things, we can head out to 2300 where we saw those capital M, mysterious capital D doors. Turns out the old dude in the Keeper's Dome was Balthazar, one of the 3 gurus from the Magical Kingdom. Sadly, we saw...
say was. Sorry, typo.
We say was because he is in fact dead now. Good news is that he programmed this silly little new creature to show us what he created, and what he created is a literal time machine. Now we could travel through time in a slightly more convenient way. Thanks, guy. Now we can also go to areas that we couldn't access before, like the previously sealed Magic Kingdom. Now that we have a time machine, we can go back to the Magic Kingdom in 12,000 BC. Sadly, the skyways are closed, and we have to head to the loser area, aka the village of the Earthbound Ones. These are the people who can't use magic. They're all forced to work on the Ocean Palace, which we learned last time when we were in 12,000 BC that the Queen was using the Ocean Palace to get closer to Lavos. Lavos being what they are now using as their source of magic. They use something called a sunstone, but now they use Lavos because Lavos is simply more powerful. The losers who can't use magic tell that the Guru of Life is sealed at the top of the mountain of woe, and that he is the one who knows how to stop the Queen from activating the Sun Palace, which we really want to do because Lavos turns out, bad. The Mountain of Woe is really, really cool. It's actually a floating mountain that is chained to the earth. We have to fight our way up onto the mountain and then climb up a chain. To climb the mountain, we have to make our way across the various giant chains that are holding the mountain together. The whole time, the snow and wind are blowing, making everything a little hazy. Once we get to the top, we see the Guru of Life sealed in a block of ice. Here we get to fight the Giga Gaia. The Giga Gaia, which very fun to say, by the way, is a super cool Titan-looking boss that has 3 hitboxes, one for each hand and its head. When both hands are up, it will do a super powerful AoE attack. Its left hand is the attack, and the right hand is the defense hand. If only one hand is up, the boss won't be able to do the powerful AoE attack. If just the left hand is up, it will do a less powerful AoE attacks, and if just the right hand is up, it will heal the head and do a single target attack. Once both hands are down, the head eventually will revive both hands, and we start all over. Although it is important to note that when they revive the hands have significantly less HP than when they do at the beginning of the fight.
Ooh.
Once the boss is destroyed, the Guru of Life appears, and it is in fact Melchior. So, how did we all feel about this section, the Mountain of Woe?
The Mountain of Woe, as Joy Lawrence would call it, right? It's amazing. I absolutely love it. I think it is, like, again, one of the coolest dungeons in games. Like, it's not super mazy, but, like, you can do some wandering in kind of a fun manner. There are skippable enemies that if you attack them, they have super high, like, evade and can run away. But if you manage to get them down, you get a ton of, like, tech points. So you can, like, farm tech points on them to a certain extent. It's fantastic. The whole, like, atmosphere with, like, the haze and the wind blowing in the background is amazing. And then getting to the top and then having the haze clear off and the Gaia, like, showing up after the block of ice disappears is gone. It's super fun. And then the boss fight is an absolute blast. I love it's so simple but so effective. It's a really, really fun boss fight.
This boss fight was so hard for me.
Oh,
Like-
interesting.
Like it was like, I don't know, I just couldn't deal enough damage, and then I eventually figured it out. I'll talk about it a little bit later in the struggling portion. But I love I love the Mountain of Woe. I love, like, the whole vibe in, like, the city going before you go into the Mountain of Woe. I love the vibe on the Mountain of Woe, and I love the reveal at the top of the Mountain of Woe. I love this whole section of the game. It's just great.
And I don't know if we'll get to it next week. So that the fact that the Mountain of Woe, after you clear it and, you know, find Melchior, collapses and, like, the chain breaks and it all, like, falls into the ocean. It's just so cool. And, like, I just love the idea of this magical floating mountain that is in fact a dungeon, like a prison for one person that is held together by, like, giant chains, like, by the size of, like, literal links the size of people. It's so cool. It's just such a neat little, like, it's fun magic thing. I love it. I love it.
So at this point, we now know the Guru of Life is Melchior, who we know in our time.
Yep.
Then we know that the Guru of... What was the Guru of Time? The Guru of...
We don't know who the Guru of Time is yet.
But the guy that made the time machine.
That was...
We've at least met two of the three gurus, is that correct?
We've met two of the
Or
three
interacted with them?
gurus that we know of.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we don't know the third. Because we know one Melchior, one built the time machine.
Balthazar
third
is the other
unknown.
one. Balthazar is the one who built the time machine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Melchior, Balthazar, and unknown third. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I really like this section. I like the boss fight. I just used a bunch of AoE attacks to kill everything, and it worked out wonderfully.
I did.
I had, at this point, Lightning 2, Ice 2, and Water 2 with Chrono and Marley and Frog. And so I just did AoE attacks until I took out the hands, and then I did solo attacks on the head itself. And then when I brought it back, the AoE attacks killed it in 2 shots rather than, like, I think the 10 or so it took the first time. So really, really fun boss fight. I enjoyed it a lot. Cool reveals, good stuff.
Yeah, I used Ayla and Chrono and I think Frog on this one, because, like, Frog could do the AoE heal, and then Ayla and Chrono had the sideways attack that hits everything sideways, so it was really good at taking out the hands. Like 2 shots of that took out the hands, and then you just go to town on the head.
I took this one really slow and it worked really well. So I just took left hand, because I just got lucky that I attacked the left hand first, and then kind of figured out that once the left hand went down, that the right hand just did a single attack or a heal. So basically worthless. And so I would take the left hand out, then move on to the right hand, then the head. Then when everything got revived, I'd go left hand, right hand, head, and just did that until everything was dead. That's how I did it. Yeah.
Nice.
Super fun.
I mean, that's it.
All right. Got some quick tea here.
Hello, old friend. Let's meet for tea after the match, shall we?
Slurp, slurp, slurp.
Not going to go into a ton of detail with this, but I do want, if people want to get started on Dragon Age Origins, I played through all of the origin stories. So just in case you didn't know, each character and race have their own origin stories. So there's City Elf, Dwarf Commoners, Dwarf Noble, the Circle of Magi or Circle Mage, a Human Noble, and a Dalish Elf. A Dalish Elf being like the opposite of a city elf, basically, just like a wild elf, essentially. So I played through all the different origin stories, and I put together a quick tier list. I just ranked them. I didn't actually tier list them. So they're all good, but the best ones I would say, hands down, City Elf, Dwarf Noble, and Dwarf Commoner. I would say City Elf is maybe the most fun, especially if you're playing as a woman. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I call dibs on City Elf then?
Sure.
Okay.
You definitely can.
I want to be an elf. I want to be an elf. I want to be an elf.
Yes, the City Elf story is awesome. It's so much fun. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I absolutely love it. Dwarf Commoner and Dwarf Noble are both fantastic. And if you play through both, you get two sides of a story, kind of a side character. Not necessarily the main character, but a side character, which is the sister of the main character, which is really, really fun. So...
do you play as the dude who's... Okay,
you don't, but that's your brother. So for Dwarf Commoner, your sister is a prostitute. And like the person who owns her basically is like, what we're trying to do is get you a nice noble to fall in love with you. We need to like trick some noble to fall in love with you, and then we're going to be rich. And then when you play as a Dwarf Noble, you actually run into her in your brother's chambers, and then you can read a note that she wrote to your brother. So, yeah, so that's pretty fun. The Circle Mage is really fun, but it like really it drags in the middle where you kind of like stuck going up the tower just talking to people, and it doesn't like serve a ton of purpose, but like it's still a really, really fun story and interesting about like how mages are treated in this world. The Human Noble is a really good story as well. You actually, it's a little tragic and kind of fun. It's if you want to kind of play as like someone with like has something to prove, it's a really good one. And then the Dalish Elf one is just kind of bad, to be honest. It doesn't have a whole lot. Like it gives a little bit of backstory about something that you get to in the final towards the end of the game, but like doesn't really pay off very well, and it's not a super interesting story. I think City Elf and the two dwarf ones are the most interesting, though I liked Human Noble a whole bunch as well. So. And the Circle Mage is fine, but it's good, but not great, I would say. So if you're looking for a story, which ones you want to play? Otherwise, just pick what you like. They're all good. You're not going to regret playing any of them. So.
Taste my grilled cheese.
Munch, munch, munch.
What is our first good, Matt?
We talked about it a bunch already, but like the boss fights in this whole area are great. It's just they're all technical in a really fun way. You can lose quite easily to them, like in a way, like if you aren't careful. But also like they're pretty fair especially if you grind it up a little bit, like back and try to get these guys, up levels, unlock some of the combo attacks. And also like really thinking about your party and how they interact with the boss really helps. With how really helps with a lot of the bosses, and it's great. I'm loving it tremendously. I just wish I could find a use for Robo.
Robo is great. Robo is like one of the most powerful healers in the game.
Is he?
Yeah.
I should try him.
Yeah.
Does he have haste?
He doesn't, but he's actually useful.
Yeah, then he's never going to be in my party.
Useful in anything other than a boss fight, though. So,
oh come on, no. Actually, the combo attack with Marl and Ayla is incredible.
That is real good.
Yeah.
Ayla's combo attack with everybody is good, though.
Yeah, Ayla's just in my party forever now because she's so good.
Yeah. What's her not so good, Storm Rage?
So in the Chrono layer, there's this one section that drove me absolutely bananas. So if you fall through, there's like one of these traps, and if you fall through, you have to reset and you have to go back to the floor before. And when you go back through, Daniel, you mentioned earlier there's no random encounters. Man, I wish there were random encounters instead of this, because it drove me so crazy. Because there were like 4 fights back to back to back, And normally, when there's a lot of mook fights, I'll just auto battle because my party's level enough, it's equipped enough that I can auto attack everything, and I'm not too worried about it. But there are these stupid dinos in every single one of these fights that have to be taken down with a lightning attack first. So I have to use Chrono, I have to lightning attack, and then there's like one dude that gets healed by the lightning attack, so then I have to do a different attack on that dude, and I had to go through this section like 3 different times because I just kept falling through, and I was so very done with these mooks. It was just not a fun thing, not a fun encounter, and everything else I really liked about this, but there was this one specific stretch that just drove me nuts.
So basically, you're mad because you couldn't auto battle your way through the dungeon?
Because, like, I don't... The purpose of those fights was not fun, right? Like,
Sure.
I want fights to be interesting, and I want the fights that come up to mean something. And the first time through, I was down with it. First time through, I was super fine with it. Second time through, I got a little frustrated. Third time through, I was like, come on, I don't...
No, especially if you're in a rush, I could see how frustrating it would be. Because, like, repetitive fights get a little bit unfun. And those, like, big, kind of chunky dinosaurs, they get pretty repetitive. So I can definitely see where you're coming from. Yep. I've got
Matt, Daniel, what's our best good?
the best good. So when I think about Chrono Trigger, like when I think about Chrono Trigger, the game, like this stretch, what we talked about today, this is what I think about. Like, it's like iconic locations like Megus's Keep, like the Tyranno Lair, the Magic Kingdom. It's like peak 1990s JRPG, Super Nintendo like role-playing games. Like, this is like the video gaming of my youth. And it just, like, it felt great then, and it still feels great. The fact that this game holds up so well is just incredible. And, like, honestly, this portion of Chrono Trigger is probably one of the reasons I love video games and why I'm still playing video games as an old man. Like, it's just so good, and it held up so well. I was honestly really worried about replaying this game because I was like, what if it's not as good as I remember? And it's been as good as I remember, which is crazy because, like, nothing holds up that well. And this has, and I absolutely love it. Every step of the way, this has been an absolute blast, especially this week worth of gaming was just perfect. I loved it. Like, I just didn't want to turn the game off. It was so much fun.
He asks each traveler 3 questions. 3 questions.
3, that's a magic number.
I will ask myself 3 questions.
Matt, at arms.
Yeah.
What are you liking so far?
Fiendlord's Keep. It's just the GOAT. It's just so good. It's incredible. It's like just so creepy and so weird, and it just starts off so creepy and weird, and it just goes up from there. Like the boss fights with Flea and Slash and Ozzy are all great, especially the Ozzy boss fight. I love the Ozzy boss fight. It's so simple, but it's so good. And then the Magus fight is incredible and epic and amazing. It's just like this is the best. It's the best portion of the game. It really is the best portion of the game, in my opinion. Storm Rage, what are you liking so far?
The story feels like it's finally coming together rather than coming apart. And that's usually my favorite moment in any story, is we're not really introducing a ton of new information. We're explaining old information in ways that tie up why these things are happening. And I am a real big fan of that. And it's coming together really nicely and I think really cleanly in a way that makes sense and is also unexpected in some ways. Like the whole going back to the Magic Kingdom is really cool. It makes sense and also is very unexpected. And so like this section of story just feels really, really strong. And I am very much enjoying that. Daniel, what do you like it so far?
Game doesn't play around. Like, there's a story to tell, and it's gonna tell it. They don't like so many of these games. It's like, hey, we need to make sure we get the 40 or 50 or 60 hours required to really make this an RPG. And this game's like, nah, we're gonna tell the story. We're gonna tell it in a concise way, and we're gonna tell it like via the game. We're not gonna like info dump on you, right? It's not going to be told via cutscenes. It's not going to be told via conversations. It's told via gameplay. It's really, really cool. Now, there are a few cutscenes, frogs, for example, is a big one. But for the most part, you learn it through conversations in the game, through like playing the game and actually and fighting the battles, which I think is super cool. And then the story just clips along. It's so fun. Like, you don't get stuck in any one point for too long. I love it. Matt, what are you struggling with?
The boss battles for me this time were pretty tough, especially the the last one that we talked about. I struggled so hard. Like that first attack, those first few attacks just murdered me like all the time. Like I barely got off the ground once or twice. And eventually I reworked my armor because I went back in time and did the whole trick with the armor where I held the item in the chest and then went to the future and picked up the chest and got the bigger item. Then I went back in time and got the item in the chest. And those were the elemental chests, right? The elemental armors, right?
Yep.
So like one absorbs dark and one absorbs fire. So I picked up the vest and the plate and put those on to absorb fire and dark. And I didn't have to spend my first 2 rounds healing everybody to make sure I didn't die to the hands. And then I just murdered the hands. And it was good. It was so good. I enjoyed it tremendously. It's just rewarding to making you think about how you have to approach the bosses.
Yeah.
So.
We didn't talk about that very much, about going back and using the pendant to open up all the chests in time and to open up the pyramid.
Yeah.
That was kind of fun. I enjoyed it. The fact that like I didn't know until like this playthrough that you charged them in 600 AD and then opened them in 1000 AD. That was something I read in the guide. That was, I thought that could have been better, like actually a way to kind of figure that out in the game. And then like in the blue pyramid, Swallow is Chrono's sword and it's so powerful.
Oh, it's so good.
The other option is just like a helmet that you can buy later.
Yeah.
Well, why even have that be an option? Just like have it be the sword, because the sword is so good. Like, and the sword's iconic. That blue katana is so cool. So,
or make it a real choice and be like, here's the sword that's the best sword in the game, or the armor that is the best armor in the game, and you'll never get it again.
Yeah. Either one, right?
Yeah.
I remember as a kid when I first played through it, like I struggled about what to pick. Do I want to pick the most powerful sword, or do I want to pick the most powerful armor? And I thought so long and hard about it, and I eventually landed on the more powerful sword because, one, attacking stuff is fun and cool, and two, if I can kill it quicker, then I don't need as strong of a defense. That's what I got to as a teenager. And then now as an adult, like reading that it's just a lame helmet, I'm like, oh, I kind of took a little bit of the shine off that decision, I feel like. So,
yeah.
But it's fine. It's fine.
What are you struggling with there, Stormrage?
The Mook battles are something I'm struggling with a bit, because some of them I think are really interesting. Some of them I think are just a little too frequent, and weirdly, I wish that there were more random battles and less scripted battles for Mooks, which I know is exactly counter to like what Dano preferences are. But the Tyranno layer, I was just like, come on. I don't want to go through the same 4-segment fight again. Like, if it happens, it happens. But I don't want this specific script to run exactly as it has before in the exact fight that I cannot avoid in any way, shape, or form. So I think that those are the only ones that are frustrating me. I love the boss battles. The boss battles are really interesting. And a lot of the Mooks, when they first get introduced, super interesting. And if they're not, usually I can just auto battle my way through it, so I don't really worry about that. But there have been a couple times where I was like, I have to do specific things, but not in a way that's fun, but in a frequency that's enough that I do get a little frustrated. So the answer is some of the Mook battles. Dano, what are you struggling with?
Think they ruined the game with the anime cutscenes. The game's just better without them. Just like, because like the way that they do these anime cutscenes, I don't know which specific port it was that they created these anime cutscenes for. I think it was for the DS.
It might have been the original PlayStation release. And then they like dropped it in the DS version.
Maybe that's what it was. But like they will have like these iconic like pixel moments where it's like it's a cutscene, but it's just not like an anime like art cutscene. It's like it'll be like a moment within the game where like, you know, you pause as the player and a thing happens, and they're so good and they're so beautiful. And then what they've done with like these cutscenes they added back in, they take these cool iconic moments and they stop them midway, and they put in this like jarring cutscene that is really doesn't look anything at all like the game, and it's like this, it's crazy anime art. It's just like, it's like watching Dragon Ball Z for 5 seconds with the characters from Chrono Trigger, and then it goes back to the really great moment. Like,
yeah,
like the game doesn't need that. I don't think it's. I mean, it's not bad. It's not, doesn't ruin the game, but it's unnecessary. It's kind of gratuitous, and I wish I could turn them off because I do just enjoy them more without it. Because I would look some of them on YouTube of like what the original ones are without it, and I think that they're just kind of better, honestly. So that'd be for me the big thing.
I kind of agree with you too, but like, because it literally is like the anime cutscene happens, and then like literally the exact same thing happens in the game.
Yeah,
and it's like it just lessens the impact so much.
I didn't need it, or you could do one or the other, I guess. But again, like they'd have to put any thought into it whatsoever, which is a thing that they just refuse to do with this game for whatever reason. Like,
right,
there is some exec out there who like this game hurt them as a kid, and they refuse to give any love to it. And it's like, what did this game do to you? Could you not beat it? Did you not receive it as a Christmas present? Like what?
There's something I want to talk about after we do during the song that I saw this week, and I really wanted to happen for this game. I'm just going to tell you what right now. So we're going to tell you in the music at the end.
Sounds good. Matt, what surprised you?
I completely forgot about the Ice Age in Antiquity from the last time I played this game. Like, it just completely left my brain. And I just love the setting here so much. I love the whole setting is reminds me of an old original series episode called The Cloudminders, where this is, you know, advanced civilization in the sky looking down on these people, like, and it's very class aware of like people who are, you know, the not us are down on the ground and are not nearly as good, and they don't deserve to live, you know, because we're so much better. And then there's the people on the ground just trying to make it by, and they're good people, and it's great. You know, it's just that whole, it's a science fiction trope because Cloudminders is based on another short story from another science fiction writer. But it just works so well for me in this game. So, Storm Rage, what surprised you?
The going back into the past, which is actually pretty futuristic, was really cool and genuinely shocked me. And they built it in such a way that it never felt campy or unearned. Mm-hmm. And at the end, I was like, well, of course, this is exactly where this would come from. Of course. And that type of storytelling is just really strong and really difficult to pull off well. So the time of Antiquity, I think, was just absolutely stellarly done. So I was a real big fan of that. Dano, what surprised you?
I love how they take the different stories that are told in each time. So like the 65 million BC story with the Reptites, the 12,000 BC story with the Magic Kingdom of Zeal, the 680 story with the Kingdom of Guardia fighting the Fiends, and then the 1080 story, which is just kind of like teen drama, right? And I love how they take all these different stories and they seamlessly meld them together to tell the story of Lavos and through like multiple different like different ages. It's so cool. Like the game is one interconnected story, but told through multiple different like shorter stories, right? And they're not the same story, but they're all connected in a really cool way. And I think that just, it's done so seamlessly. You don't even really think about it. And I absolutely love it. I think it's so cool. So cool.
You want to buy some death sticks?
You don't want to sell me death sticks.
I don't want to sell you death sticks.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
Storm Rage. Sell the game to a friend?
It is the classic JRPG. If you're a fan of JRPGs, you should play it.
Matt.
If you make it to this part of the game just sells itself at this point because it's so good.
Dano?
Yeah, so it's a JRPG for people with a job. It doesn't ask you to commit 60 or 80 hours. You got 25, good enough. That's it for this week. We're playing Chrono Trigger one more week. Cannot wait to get to the end. Thank you all so much for listening. Thanks to all our patrons for patronizing us. Special thank you to our producers and best friends, Trevor, Baximus, and RidiculousHat. You can find links to the Discord and content information in the pinned comment on our Patreon page at patreon.com/squelch.
And Chrono Trigger's a game, and games are supposed to be fun.
Yeah! Sling those time portals, baby!
This is the end of the show! Everybody bye!
Matt?
So, Nintendo Direct came out like the end of last week, and they announced a Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 HD 2D remake, where they remake both of those classic RPGs. Both those games are like classic, old school RPGs. They remade them using like a 2D style, but in like 2.5D backgrounds. It looks incredible. Why there isn't, on the 30th anniversary of Chrono Trigger, the fact they haven't made this game yet, this version of it, like I'm going to put the trailer, I'm going to put the link to the trailer in the chat. Go to about 15 seconds and just watch. And just tell me you wouldn't play the heck out of it. It is incredible, and it's really criminal that they haven't done anything with Chrono Trigger yet. That doing this, I don't know why. So
Yeah,
It really is baffling that there's not been a remake of Chrono Trigger. Like, there's been so many remakes of so many different games, and then there's nothing?
Like, literally, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 are good games. They're not amazing games. They're, like, good. They're, like, for their time, they were great, but they've been far surpassed. But, like, nothing has surpassed Chrono Trigger. This, like, in the old school JRPG style, like, version. Like, we remade all the original Final Fantasies up through, like, six. And I bought 3 of them.
Well, and then 7 now, too, right? Like,
yeah, they're completely redoing 7, right? Like in 4 games, right? Or whatever it is.
And they redid 12 recently. Like 3-4 years ago, they redid 12.
Yeah. So, like, I'm waiting for 10 to be remade, or 9 and 10 to be remade. Or 10 doesn't need to be remade. 9 probably does.
9 holds up really well. It doesn't.
9 holds up. Yeah, it does. And so it's just frustrating. Like, there hasn't been anything. I would buy this for full price if it came out in this style, in this 2.5D style.
Yeah, and they haven't really talked about it, so maybe there's like a surprise drop coming, but I don't think there is. It's just, I don't know. I mean, they seem so, it's not like they're laser focused and only doing Final Fantasy VII either. So, I mean, maybe, you can't even say because it's Square and Enix, right? So it's like they're combined. They're one company now. So you can't be like, oh, because there was like some Enix like developers on the game, therefore there's some copyright issues. It's just they're just choosing not to.
It's like, hey, we have this pile of money we can tap into, but no, we're not going to do it.
It's such a short game. Like, you can't tell me it would take that long either. It's such a good game. It's so weird. I don't know. Yeah,
it makes no sense.
All right. How are we doing on time? Do we have time for After Dark, or are we done?
I think we're good. Matt's done.
I don't know. Actually, I could go. Whatever.
Okay. I think it'll be short. I don't think we need to talk too long.
It'll be short. Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks everyone for hanging out. We'll talk to you again next week for one more week of Chrono Trigger.
Bye-bye.
You want to say goodbye, Matt?
Bye-bye.